you protect your time and energy and get it all done when world domination is your goal? I mean, I'm just kidding about the world domination part, sort of. But, you know, in the birth space, I really intend to, and I will, make sure that empowered birth becomes mainstream. And, I mean, there's so many other things that I want to bring out into the world. I'm a change maker. And I'm a Scorpio. And I just can't help myself. If I see that something doesn't serve, I rise to the occasion and the challenge. I'm like, challenge accepted. Where other people will say that change can't happen, it's too hard, people are too scared, it's never going to happen, I'm the one that goes, challenge accepted. And then I find the loophole, and I find my way in. At the same time, I recently had gone through and discovered why I couldn't keep my energy up as much as a lot of people. And why I needed so many naps. And why, when I finally let go of attachment to outcome and let go of the timelines, suddenly things got a lot easier and I got a lot more done. Like, you would think that the hustle was what would get things accomplished, right? Chasing after things, just keep going at it. But no, I don't do that anymore. Instead, I attract. Maybe it's my reflector nature, or maybe it's my magnetic Scorpio personality. However, I've noticed that when I just put my ideas out there, I attract people. Like today, I recently, it was a while ago. Basically, it was a synchronicity or just something that just came up where I had posted in a group years ago, and she'd just come across my post, and then she checked me out and she reached out and she friend requested me. And I'm always kind of curious when people just send me a request. I'm like, well, what is this really? Because, there's a lot of people that will do that inauthentically. But she seemed pretty cool. And I checked some of her stuff out. But, we kept missing each other. So we wanted to connect. And the universe kept redirecting us. It's like, it's not time yet. And, that used to be frustration for me. But now I'm like, okay. But it keeps coming around. Whatever's meant for you will come back. So you don't need to chase. If they really, really are intrigued by you, once you've put your magic out there, that's the key. You have to put your magic out there or your glass slipper for them to find you and decide to bring that to you. Go check out one of my other videos on the glass slipper method. It's on my YouTube channel, Carly Bonderud Uncensored. It's also in the success tips for, I forget exactly how it is. I put playlists there. And there's one on success tips learned from fairy tales or some sort of way of that title. The fairy tales is in the title of the playlist. But the glass slipper method is something I've kind of devised as a way to protect my energy. And how you basically do this is recognize that if you create a piece of content, that is going to be more valuable than just going out and talking to people all the time. But if you are going to teach a class, a live class, you want to record it. And so tomorrow, I'm actually going to be teaching in my little mastermind that I have with a group of friends. Like, we're all high level, and basically 95% of us are Scorpio in that group, so you just know we're getting stuff done. I even brought a guy in there. I brought in some masculine Scorpio energy because, my big brother, as I call him, is just he's got that clarity, and he knows branding, and he's just like the master at it. And he also works in Silicon Valley. So like he's worked with people that are like really top level when it comes to executives. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, we need you in this group. And then the rest of our Scorpios are like, they're health coaches and they're women, but they're powerful women. And I actually did some interviews with them for my Empowered Mom Hour, which is another little project I'm doing. All this ties together. So at the start of the year, I said the gloves were off. I was so fed up, and I'd already perfected my system and my process, and I put my magic in my book. That in itself is powerful. But from the book, I've also created more content. And this is actually how you protect your energy. So someone once told me way back in 2022 in May that it's one thing to do working one-to-one. And when people ask, how did you do that thing? You go for coffee dates. And it's like, let me buy you coffee. Let me buy you lunch. Let me pick your brain. And it's like, yeah, that's what people were doing with me. They wanted to pick my brain. But then I was also told, it's like, there's going to be a point where your calendar gets so full, you can't just meet up with just anyone. And I really paid attention during that because this person, of course, is inspiring as hell and just an absolute genius at what they do. And I was just like taking it all in. And I'm just like, yeah, because, you know, I'm also an introvert. I know it doesn't look like it, but I am. And I realized, like, yeah, I can't meet everybody up for coffee because I've got my kids. But even more, it's like I can't get on Zoom calls all the time, all day long. I could, but there's other things I need to do. And I need to be able to take a nap and I need to be able to decompress. So yeah, my calendar gets pretty full. And with this person that I connected with years ago, I mean, she's like, hey, I want to connect with you. And we finally got our call. And it's awesome. And now, like, she's going to be building a podcast. She's working on her program. We talked about ChatGPT. We talked about human design. We talked about our own learning about health and sick care versus health care. And like birth as well. Like she's passionate about that, and she's got 5 kids, and she was a single mom for a while, and then she got remarried and had more. So it's like, yeah, I authentically connect, and that takes energy. That takes time. Like it takes like at least 45 minutes to really get in deep with someone, and then like my calendar's booked, and you know, there's time zone issues too. Like she's all the way on the other side of the pond and I am here on the coast and I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, the time zones are different. And like, we're going to do this. We're going to have our podcast and we're going to have the Empowered Mom Hour. She's going to be slotted to speak probably in January is what we looked at for the time. But she's like, I really want to know more about this ChatGPT thing before I go to bed. And I'm like, yeah. So I'm teaching that in my mastermind tomorrow, but it's going to be late. Like you're going to be in bed by that point for you. So I'm recording it anyway, and I'll give it to you. But then see, that's what you do for your friends. You give them access to you even through recordings. And this is actually why Carly Bonderud Uncensored exists. It's like I'm not selling anything through it. However, if you want my magic, it's out there. And then like I can take those videos and I can turn them into an actual concrete course. But it's for my friends. Because so many of them, they say this is valuable. This was a conversation that I really needed. And I'm like inspired by that. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is valuable. And I can go deeper. But it's one thing to have a back and forth conversation where the energy exchange, and it's another one to talk into the camera. So if you've got a message, you got to get confident talking on camera. You got to get confident in sharing and putting your stuff out there. But once it's created, it's there. And you can reiterate it over and over again. So in the case of this mastermind, which is completely closed doors, like this is a completely closed-doored mastermind, this is just for me and my friends, they're going to get a little tutorial tomorrow on how I apply ChatGPT and human design and applying it to my own program and how they can apply it to theirs. Oh yeah, I went deep. I went down a deep rabbit hole and I found gold. And so I'm going to record that and then I'm going to send it to this other connection that I have, this new friend that I have in my circle, who's awesome. And then she's going to get to have that value. But also at the same time, I'm professionally teaching this in somebody else's group next week. So this is a practice run for me. I'm actually practicing with my mastermind, and then I'm going to bring it more polished in to this other group for mom entrepreneurs. And again, like, she's going to have value. She can record that as a standalone course, and I could get some royalties from that. And I could even send people to her from my clients and say, hey, go check her out. And then I also have my other deep dive masterclass. I mean, yeah. And it's recorded. So what's the takeaway here? When you have a stream of consciousness idea, don't sit on it. Even if it's the middle of the night, you know what I do? I take my phone. I'm recording on my phone right now, so I can't give you a phone. But imagine I've got a phone in my hands. And I don't even do any lights or anything. All I do is I set up the camera, the video, and then I speak into it in the darkness. So I'm not even trying to find voice notes or anything. I'm just hitting my camera, hitting video, and talking. Because sometimes I wake up at between 2 and 3 and 4 a.m. with like all these ideas that come to me in the night. And I need to put them somewhere because otherwise they'll be gone. And trying to turn on a light and then trying to write it down takes away from your stream of consciousness. And I do this even in the middle of the day where it's like I don't have a pen and paper on me, but I have my phone. So I'll just record a video of me talking, just rambling to myself as a note to myself, because it goes right up onto iCloud. If it got deleted off my phone, it's already up on iCloud. Now I can download it from my computer and I can listen to it. I can put it into Microsoft Clipchamp and it transcribes it now. Yeah. Microsoft Clipchamp transcribes video now. So I've also been taking my YouTube videos and I've downloaded them again because, my hard drive, I don't have the original, unfortunately, but I do have the YouTube one. Now I put that, transcribe it. Now I've got a Word document. Now I could turn that into a report, or I could take a few lines from it and put it on Threads. Hey, Threads is pretty cool, by the way. Like, there's so many things you can do. And that's value for people. So don't just create for you. Put it out there. This is a lesson I had even when I was a kid. I used to write stories, and they were only for me. And in high school, I would write stories because I'd be reading other people's things on fan fiction. I'd be like, I can write way better than this. I'm like, I'm going to write way better than this. And I was reading it for me. But some nosy friends, I forgive you, they found my writing that I was too embarrassed to share, and they told me it was really good. And they told me I needed to get it out there. And so I put it under a pen name on fan fiction, and suddenly I was getting reviews. And people still to this day, they find my old stuff that I wrote when I was 18, and I'll find a review or two that's like, I found this really old story and this is really good. I mean, here's the thing. If you're like, oh, it has to be perfect, even authors are embarrassed of their old works. If you're not embarrassed of your old works, then you waited way too long to put it out. So, what can you do to put value out today? Don't just consume content, create it. There's no rule saying you have to be perfectly polished to create content. Anybody can create content. We've now made it so easy. All you have to do is create an Instagram account, and then, like, if you're on here watching this, you have one. If you don't have content on your own Instagram, what's stopping you? Fear of talking on the camera? Hey, I used to be terrified. Think you don't look polished enough? I used to go on, my hair was flat, my daughter was climbing on my back. One time she threw a poop emoji pillow right in the middle of my live stream. I didn't care, I still spoke my message. Like, there was a time when I was not polished. And sometimes I'm still like that. Sometimes it's like, you know what? I'm having a rough day and I'm just going to sit here, no makeup, and I talk. Those videos exist. I'm not always perfectly polished. So again, what's your excuse? Because you can either spend all of your time talking to one person or getting on a stage and talking to lots and lots of people, but still having to spend all that time doing it. Or you can go and create some content from your stream of consciousness and make it fun. And then you put that out there. And then you know what happens when you create that? People want access to you because your stuff is so good, because you're so authentic with it, that they really like you and they connect with you and they want to learn more from you. They want to hear more about your thoughts. That's how you attract them. So, it's both. Can't just create content and expect people to follow you, and you can't just go and speak one-to-one. I'm protecting my time. I'm creating tons and tons and tons of content. And I'm reiterating that content, and I'm putting that content out in bits and pieces. And for as much as I've done already this year, I'm probably going to finish off the rest of 2024 with a bang. And then 2025, 2025 is probably going to be even 10x what I've already done this year. I'm blown away by everything I've done this year. And the other thing is, if Instagram continues to cut in and out on me, doesn't matter, it's not going to stop me. Technology glitches do not stop me. People telling me that I'm bad and wrong, or that I need to be quiet, or I need to be demure, I need to behave myself. Women behaving badly are the ones that make history. So, I'm a rule breaker. I'm a Scorpio. I'm here to stir things up. I'm here to help you rise up to your highest self. I'm here to help you discover your superpowers. And I'm going to lovingly kick your ass to go out there. And go out there bigger. Hey, if you're already on Threads and you're saying things, imagine how much more powerful you'd be on video. Just saying. There's so many people that have been saying things on Threads. I'm just like, if you were on camera, I would totally listen to you. So, gloves are off. Let's go. Anyway, I got to go to another mastermind with a friend's group of mine, and I will see you soon. Bye now.